Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aviana. This is Aviana's Ascension, and today we are going to do a full moon in Pisces lunar eclipse reading just to see how this eclipse, this full moon, all this energy, how it's going to be impacting us, the areas in life it will be impacting you, what you can expect to come up, what needs to be released, and how to cope with this energy the best that you can. Okay, so this is going to be September 7th when this full moon in Pisces lunar eclipse takes place. So let's just talk about it. So the energy I just get off the bat with it being a full moon in Pisces and then a lunar eclipse as well. Pisces is all about, for me, just going within, being introspective. It's a very sensitive sign, and it can definitely take on a lot of other people's energies. So, with this being a full moon lunar eclipse, I feel like themes of balance, boundaries, shadow work, I think a lot of that's going to come into play at this time. I think we're going to be spending a lot of time going within and really reflecting on what it is we want to bring into our lives, what it is that we feel is keeping us from that, and how we can be more accountable to make the shifts that we feel we need to make. You know, set those boundaries we need to set, walk away when we need to, redirect and refocus our energy rather than carrying these things so heavily. I like it. I like what's happening. This is definitely going to be a big ball rolling, kind of getting all of us back into our higher selves and just going towards our passions that we're meant to go towards, following our intuition. And I think we're really going to notice what aspects of ourselves we've been kind of hiding behind and allowing to kind of hinder this path to our higher selves and towards the life that we're meant to live. I feel like it's just a lot of energy surrounding this time. Eclipses, can be very draining. Full moons can be a lot. So definitely rest up, take a nap if you need to, maybe get a massage, maybe even like a Reiki session or, just something to really help you with your energy and embrace that self-care as well. So let's get into it. Let's talk about it. I'm going to read from the book about what's going on with these Moonology cards. I will put down in the comments when the reading starts. So if you just want to skip ahead to that, be my guest. Okay, so let's talk about the full moon in Pisces first. It says on here, balance spirituality and practicality. So that kind of goes back to that balance energy we were talking about. And to me, that really represents, especially with Pisces energy, you don't want to get too much, like get too carried away with something and just throw all caution to the wind, but you also don't want to internalize something so much. So it's about how can you face something in a practical way, not about pushing your emotions to the side or being completely impulsive and indulgent in them, but about recognizing them, acknowledging them, and then maybe leaning on some spiritual tools or maybe some practical tools to help you navigate certain situations. I do feel like there's going to be a lot of endings, a lot of sudden changes that happen with this eclipse. So I think having that practical and spiritual is going to be very beneficial at this time. Okay? So that way you just don't get too lost in the sauce. All right, so let's talk about it. Balance spirituality and practicality, full moon in Pisces. Okay. Have you been so head in the clouds that you've lost touch with reality? If so, take this card as a sign that you need to pay attention and make a concerted effort to move towards your goals. Absolutely. And see, we just got into Virgo season as well. And Virgo is all about getting organized, getting focused, taking care of your health, and really putting in that work and intention to get where it is you want to go. So it's like with this full moon in Pisces, it's like, okay, you have all these dreams, all these ideas, all these projects. What are you doing to actually get them working, moving towards them, right? You have the dreams. Okay, do you want to write it down somewhere? What are the steps you can take now to get yourself there? Like co-creating in a very practical way, not just spiritual, not just wishing upon a star. Okay, fears. The more practical steps you can take, the better. It's time to find an inner balance between your responsibilities and your dreams. Meditate on your question, and solutions to your issue may now come through very clearly. I don't like the way that's. Meditate on your question and solutions. Okay, meditate on your question, and the solutions to your issue may come through very clearly. Okay, I was missing the. I was like, okay. Oh man. Okay, let's keep it moving. If you're in a tricky situation because you've been acting the martyr, this card will be a message from the cosmos to drop the act for everyone's sake. Absolutely. And that kind of goes back into that boundaries energy. You know, like, where are you compromising yourself? Where are you doing too much? You know, when is it that you want to say no, but you're saying yes instead? You got to start setting those boundaries, okay? Because you can't save anyone. Everyone has to save themselves. Everyone's here to learn, everyone's here to grow. So you have to allow that to unfold naturally, you know? Like, it's not doing anyone any favors, you know, always showing up for them, always helping them, you know? Like, it's amazing to help people and be there for people, but not at your own expense, you know, and not to do it from a space of ego, as in, this is what makes me feel better, so let me show up for them, even though I may not want to, or even though I may know they need to figure this one out for themselves. It makes me sleep easier at night knowing I helped them. Recognize when you're giving from ego and when you're giving from your heart space. You know, your heart space doesn't feel like it has to do anything. It just does what it's called to do. So when are you moving like out of like genuity or out of force, out of guilt? That's a good question to ask yourself. Attune with the moon. Meditate every day and see what comes to you. Answers will come. So this is definitely a time to meditate, get into it, journal, sitting outside in nature, whatever you do. Additional meanings for this card. You're in a super romantic but not super realistic state. That's huge. So I definitely am going to want to pull some cards and just see, like, what is it that we may be a little too dreamy about, a little too like in the clouds about, and what we need to get practical about and kind of get more grounded and recognize what's really going on. Follow your intuition. It won't let you down. At worst, this card can herald the end of a dream. The person you're inquiring about is a soulmate. Avoid substance abuse. Okay. And the teaching. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Oh, so yes, this is even bigger. So the full moon in Pisces symbolically marks endings. When the moon is full in Pisces, or whenever you pull this card, it's a time to dive deep into your emotions. Practicality is at odds with the numinous Piscean energies that have no borders. So feel your way now. Psychic ability is heightened when the full moon is in Pisces, and soulmates now connect. It's also a time to send out your dreams to the universe, releasing your fears. I like that. I like that. So yeah, this is a big time of recognizing, you know, different ways that you contribute to holding yourself back. It's also about, okay, if you're serious about something, how can you move towards it more and more and more? And I think with those two things being together, there's going to be naturally a lot of endings with that, whether there's endings with certain relationships, certain habits, certain, you know, ways of thinking, certain energies within yourself. You know, there's going to be a lot that comes to a head with this full moon eclipse. And it's going to be difficult, but that's also why it's kind of cool that it's in the sign of Pisces, because that is a sign that knows how to go within, knows how to listen to their intuition. So don't overthink right now. Just do. Allow your intuition to guide you. Meditate if you're feeling stuck or like fight or flight mode, you know, like don't make any moves from impulsivity, right? That's that balance. So really meditate right now, really dive into that self-care, because there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of shifts happening, all for the better. But I think there's going to be a lot of like kind of mirror cracks and like smacks in the face coming with this full moon eclipse. So let's get into it some more. Okay, we have the full moon eclipse here. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Oh, right there. Oh, I love it. So conclusions are within reach with the full moon eclipse. So both of these cards already talk about endings and things, coming to conclusions, having a nice bow wrapped on something. So really expect something to come full circle here. All right. So full moon eclipse, conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse, and just like that, a door slams shut. If you've pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. So yeah, I feel like the main situation is going to be something that you're not in control of, like another person's actions or having to let go of certain things, like there's going to be a lot of leaning into faith, into trust with that. And as you're surrendering one situation, I think Spirit is going to be asking you to get more serious about another situation, a certain goal, a certain dream, a certain idea that you've been sitting on. You're going to put all your energy into that while something else is unfolding or figuring itself out. Okay, interesting. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for, a way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving the situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases it so you can move on. I like it. There may be certain things being revealed at this time as well. Attuned to the moon, that which is meant for me will not pass me by. I know that's right. And that's a big thing to remind yourself when you're having to let go of things. If it was meant for you, you wouldn't be having to let go of it right now. Okay? It'd be continuing on with you. And maybe things will circle back around. You never know. But don't try to force, because that just messes up the whole thing. You know what I mean? Then you don't even get the stuff you're meant for. And then it's just like prolonging the inevitable. You just got to let it go. Additional meanings for this card: doors which slam shut now will not reopen. Okay, so something is finito. It's time for you to get back on track. See, that's what I feel like. Something's ending so you can get refocused on something else. You're having to surrender one thing to get focused on another. Forgiveness will set you free of karma. Meditation, pranayama, and yoga nidra are all recommended now. See, both the cards are talking about meditation, so that's going to be really beneficial. Seed control and let events unfold. Yeah, big thing here is something, I've already said it. The teaching. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. A full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it portends change, something many of us are uncomfortable with. But change is a part of life, and this card, no matter when you pull it, reminds you of that fact. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into what Carl Jung called the shadow self. Work with your darkness. And see, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I think the major theme for this shadow work is going to be noticing what it is that you are ignoring or resisting in order to stay comfortable. It feels like those things are going to be shed from us. And while we're learning to navigate those emotions, we have to listen to our intuition to continue our daily flow, meditate, and focus on some sort of dream, some sort of aspiration. Not necessarily to distract yourself from it, but in order for you to surrender what has to happen. All right, so let's get into it. All right. So for my full moon, new moon readings, I always like to pull from 2 tarot decks, and we have our Moonology deck, which we'll pull at the end. I like to do my glow in the dark deck. This deck represents like our shadow self, what we're releasing, and just maybe the more uncomfortable aspects of the full moon eclipse. And then we have the Light Seers Tarot, which will represent the more positives and what we can celebrate, what good all of this discomfort is bringing us. So let's get into it. All right. I love it. All right, so we have at the bottom of the deck the Star, the Ace of Pentacles, Judgment, Queen of Swords, the Hierophant, the Five of Wands, Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Okay. Yeah, so I do feel like there's going to be a new opportunity coming through for us, and it feels like an opportunity that has a lot of fulfillment and a lot of joy, but it's also something that has a lot of vulnerability. And I'm just hearing like the shadow is showing itself, like maybe there's a part of you that wants to, reject it, or is fearful, or feels like you're not worthy or not enough to go towards this new opportunity. But this is something that you've always, always wanted. So we have Judgment, Queen of Swords. There's going to be a moment of reflection, of really looking at yourself and saying, like, why am I not running towards this opportunity? Why am I questioning it? Why am I scared to go towards what I'm always been passionate about? Like, if this is my time to shine, why am I hiding? There's going to be a lot of reflection here, because you're meant to shine. You're meant to be a star. You're meant for this beautiful new opportunity. But I just have this feeling that it's like you're hiding. Some of you might hide behind the hard work, and now that it's your time to shine in the sun, you're like, wait a minute, I was more comfortable working hard. That might touch in with that masculine energy, feeling like I have to work for this. I have to prove myself. Why do you feel that way? And if that's the case and you finally got what it is that you were proving yourself for, why are you uncomfortable? It's going to be feelings of worthiness, for sure, for sure. We do have the Hierophant, the Queen of Wands, the Five of Wands. I feel like it's your time to step out of like a story you've always told or a role you've always played. There's an aspect of yourself that is ready to shine, ready to take up space, very confident. But there's also that part of you that's like, but my role is to be over here and to be quiet and to, go with what I'm supposed to be doing and just playing this role. And that's where I'm comfortable. But you're not meant to be comfortable. You're meant to shine. You're meant to, So the Queen of Cups, Nine of Pentacles, change is definitely a coming. All right. This is an energy of like, you can't deny your dreams anymore. You can't deny what lights your heart up anymore. So it's time to really start planting those seeds. There's that practicality. It's time to really get serious and start taking action, whether that's one step at a time or, literally like 1 foot at a time. You know what I mean? Like just the slowest, a foot a day, It's time to get on that path and start making the changes, taking the steps you need to take. Okay? All right. I'm just in a giffy mood. I'm having a good time. So let's see what's going on. All right. First of all, I want to know, what is it that is coming to conclusion? What is it that's getting that, little bow on it for this full moon eclipse? Please and thank you. All right, so this is definitely, see, that's what I was saying. There's the Seven of Swords here. So there's definitely somebody, maybe being shady or lying, kind of stealing, like something suspicious is going on. Okay, this could be you. This could be somebody that you're around. But I feel like this energy is being highlighted right now because somebody's been hiding their true selves, hiding their true intentions. And it's time for the spotlight to be shining on them. I like it. Yeah, this is something that was very disappointing, very hurtful. But again, it's not the end of the world. Okay. If someone's being shady or someone feels like they have to hide themselves or whatever the case may be, because maybe this is somebody just hiding their true self. This could also be somebody hiding their true intentions, which could be bad. Either way, at the end of the day, it's something that is beautiful because now you know the truth. Now you can take up space. Now we can stop, trying to force things that don't make sense. But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. And that's okay. Two things can be true at once. With the Six of Swords, I see you moving on from this situation. Like, yes, it hurt. Yes, it was disappointing, but you're not going to, you know, cry over spilt milk. You're not going to stay somewhere where it doesn't make sense. So you've accepted this. You're moving on. You're moving forward in your life. Okay, I see you being very brave, very courageous, very strong at this time. I definitely see you balancing between that higher self and that animal self, that spiritual self and that more practical survivor mode. You know, like maybe, say for example, this is like a work environment or partnership where you guys like live together and split bills. Having to walk away from something like that, shaking up your foundation, your security, is very scary. But there's a situation here where you couldn't stay just for the sake of stability. You know, that's why you had to be brave and strong and keep moving forward, knowing that you're protected, knowing that you're going to be okay. All right, because we have justice. Okay, so no matter what side of the situation you're on, things are going to work out for you. You know, like karma will come through, justice will be served, you know, and it's not your doing, it's not your job to do that, right? That's above our payroll. The universe, God does that. Okay, but with justice, this is a situation where you just focus on yourself. You just stay true to you and trust that things are going to balance out. The universe will take care of you. Very good, very good. Okay. So tell me a little bit more about the Seven of Swords, Five of Cups, Six of Swords. Could be dealing with a Leo or a Libra. You could be a Leo or a Libra. All right, we just have the Queen of Cups here, so it could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. It feels like, though, I mean, obviously this had to do with something that was very close to your heart space. This does talk about looking at something from a wider perspective, you know, like you see that she's like looking at the cup very mysteriously from the outside. So it's like, I feel like you're allowing yourself to kind of zoom out on this situation and see both perspectives, even if it may have been something that hurt you. What else happened here? What is this involving? All right, we have the Page of Pentacles, Two of Swords, King of Swords. Yeah, it feels like somebody told you all of a sudden that, like, it's almost like you realized you weren't a priority in this situation anymore. Like some sort of truth came out that you were like, I thought this was like an equal give and take. I thought, like, it feels like you thought that there's mutual respect and somebody's truth, like you realized it wasn't aligning with what you thought this situation was. Yeah, it just feels like you realize like you weren't a top priority in this situation, or you weren't like being highly considered for something. See, but this is exactly what you needed. See, like with the Devil card here, it feels like there was a comfort zone here. Like there was just enough stability or just enough intrigue or whatever to keep you around and keep you kind of entertained. But it was holding you back from really focusing on what it was and what you were meant to kind of pour your energy into. You know, this was distracting you. Tell me more about the Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. Oh. I left these cards out in the rain, so now they're a little difficult to shuffle. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, if you want to see, like, that's crazy. Tell me more about the Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles. We have the Seven of Pentacles and the Magician. So yeah, it just feels like you were pouring a lot of time and energy into something, and really it was just a distraction. With the Magician here, it's like anything that you really want to make happen for you that's in alignment for you will grow immediately. But I feel like you were putting your own dreams, your own goals on pause because you're like, well, let me focus on this and let's get this going and let's make sure this looks good. And then I'll focus on myself and do my own thing. And yeah, that just wasn't working. That was not working. Yeah, it feels like you abandoned your own dreams and goals in order, like, it's like you put yourself on the back burner for another group of people, which is, again, like, it's amazing to help other people grow, but you can't abandon yourself to save other people, which, again, I feel like is a common theme here. Yeah, it's like you needed a balance between, like, standing in your own power, being your own boss, taking charge, and also, like, just totally giving your power away. Like, you can help other people, but you also need to be able to focus on your own dreams and goals and not kind of surrender that to help others. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a balance with it. Okay. All right. Well, let's learn more about the Strength card and Justice here. All right. I was trying to get more cards, but we just have the one, the Four of Cups. So yeah, with this situation, you really had to shift your perspective here. And I think that's why the Queen of Cups was the first one out in regards to what was going on there. They're like, at the end of the day, a perspective shift, you know, because this was a gift from the universe, from the divine, like this whole thing unfolding how it is. Because again, you were distracting yourself, and maybe not even consciously, you know, we do a lot of things subconsciously because of our past and things like that. But there is a lot of clarity, and I do see you walking away from this situation. For a lot of you, this could have to do with a romantic relationship or a long-term friendship, partnership, somebody that you're obviously emotionally tied to, because we're not just going to distract ourselves for no reason, right? But even though this is extremely uncomfortable, there's so much that's coming with it, and you may not even see it right now because you're still kind of in the midst of it. It's still very fresh, but as you pull away from something and you pour more of your time and energy into your own self, you're going to realize, like, wow, I really was sacrificing a lot there, and I'm glad that this adjustment happened. You know, whether, and you know, we are talking about how this is like a full, you know, door shut, but again, cards can't tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you what to do. We all have free will. You can take a break, you can take a step back, maybe this comes back around, whatever the case may be, or whatever you need to hear to, like, be okay with it. But yeah, it's a gift from the universe to get you refocused on you and what really brings you that fulfillment. All right, anything else for this Seven of Swords, Five of Cups energy? All right, yeah, we have the Lovers, the Nine of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune. So yeah, just like what we were saying earlier, it looks like there's definitely going to be a new chapter in regards to some sort of connection. Could be romantic, family, friends. It could also involve something that maybe once made you happy or filled your cup, but now feels draining, feels worrisome, you know, kind of gives you anxiety. So yeah, there's definitely something that it's time to walk away from. Yeah, it's time for you to go towards just things that bring you fulfillment and stop kind of taking everything on. You know, it's okay to walk away. All right, let's get the Light Seers Tarot, and we're going to see about what is it that you're going to be focusing on. And I like doing it like this. You know, I think it's nice to kind of see like, okay, this is what's going out and let's see what's coming in, and end it on like a nice note. All right, so yeah, bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Cups, the Ten of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Nine of Wands, the Sun, Page of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot. Okay, I like it. I like it. So I definitely see a lot of healing going on when it comes to just the past and feeling guarded, feeling burdensome, letting go of conflict. Okay, and I feel like not only are you healing from this, but a big part of that is understanding where the root of this comes from, you know, like trying to understand, like, why am I playing this energy out in my adult life? Where is this coming from? What root is it? What do I need to love and accept about myself so I can move on from this? Beautiful. And yeah, with the Sun, Page of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, I just see that you're ready to start new chapters, plant new seeds. I think that you're going to be moving with a lot of clarity. And like, even if things aren't clear about what you're walking away from, you're clear about what you're going towards. And I think that's the whole point of this situation, you know, is to get you to kind of clear away the fog and the distractions, so that way you have the confidence, the clear mind to go towards what it is you've always wanted to go towards. No more distractions. I love it. I love it. And it's like you're turning those distractions into diamonds by understanding, like, okay, why am I distracting myself? Why am I pulling my energy away? Why am I pouring into this when I know I want to do that? Like, what is that? I love it. Okay, let's talk about it. So what is it that we will be going towards after closing this out and walking away from this? Tell me more about that. The Wheel of Fortune energy. Yes. Tell me more about that. The Magician. Yeah, so again, Nine of Swords, the Four of Cups. Definitely a change in perspective is required here. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction, a normal response. This is a big comfort zone, whatever this is. And I think it's normal to be anxious and worried that you're walking away from something. You know, you're definitely walking away with the Eight of Cups. There's something that was just a distraction, not enough fulfillment. Again, I don't think it started out that way, but I think it's gotten to this point. And of course, at first, that's very jarring, nerve-wracking, upsetting. That's very normal. But you can't stay in this energy with this, and you have to allow yourself to see the bigger picture here and know that there's going to be a lot of options for you moving forward. I think that this is something that's really clearing up a lot of your time and your energy. So now that you're replenishing yourself, redirecting that energy within, what do you want to do with it? What do you want to go towards? What have you been putting on the back burner that you're ready to start cooking again? See, there's that Justice card and the Queen of Swords here too. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of clarity in regards to your balance and just like focusing on the things that really matter to you, your projects, your schooling, your educations, your certifications, whatever it is that you're wanting to invest in, your passions, what lights you up. That's like, it's going to get so clear to you that you're like, wait a minute, I really abandoned my love, my hobby there for this distraction. That was crazy. All right, let's talk about it. Tell me more about the Seven of Cups here. What are the options moving forward? What are we going towards? I like it. We have the Star, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Two of Wands. Absolutely. So again, moving forward, there's going to be a lot of different options. It's either, do I stay in my comfort zone, or do I go and really, you know, explore the world and create the life that I've always wanted? Like, am I going to start choosing that life today, or am I going to let another year pass by? Sorry, I keep wiggling the camera, but we're getting into it. We have the star and the wheel of fortune. It's time for you to chase your dreams. It's time for you to wish upon a star and make it happen. Okay. There's no more, oh, well, let me focus on this and let me do that. And okay, maybe when this, no, you're going to make it happen. You're going to go towards it. And that's that. Okay. Because there's nothing else for you here. You know what I mean? Like, you can bring on another distraction if you want to, but like, what makes you happy. What brings you fulfillment. So let's stop, manifesting it and creating vision boards and collages. Let's actually make it happen. Let's take the action we're guided to take. And I think a big part of holding back and redirecting the focus and the energy somewhere else is because if you focus that direction, that energy within you, then sometimes you would realize, like, oh, I'm not as prepared or as ready as I thought I was. Oh, this requires me to be very vulnerable and make mistakes and look silly. There's a lot of discomfort that comes with the unknown of following a big dream. It's like, okay, it's either I have to shit or get off the pot. And now I'm on the pot and I'm realizing, like, oh my goodness, this is scary. Of course it's scary. But believe in yourself, right? You had the magician earlier. You have everything you need within and around you to make something work. If you can make a distraction work that wasn't even meant for you, you can make this work. It's just, you got to recognize the dedication, the energy you're putting into something. You got to commit to it. All right. Tell me more about the Two of Wands. Two of Wands. Yeah, for a lot of you, Two of Cups, Six of Swords, this has to do with you leaving a partnership, a friendship, a relationship, a certain aspect of yourself. It's not that you leave any parts of yourself. You just, kind of transmute them and integrate them, look at them differently. But yeah, a lot of you are having to choose yourself in a situation, choose your highest self, choose your best self, choose faith over fear. Yeah, this is a time of being vulnerable and really shining a light on the part of you that you've been holding back, the part of you that's been allowing yourself to hold yourself back and distract yourself. This is going to be really an eye-opening time, a very uncomfortable time for a lot of us, because it's just like pointing the finger at yourself and saying, like, okay, this is how I've been, this is how I've been dilly-dallying. It's time to get serious. All right, tell me more about the Wheel of Fortune, the Star card. We have Temperance, Seven of Wands, and the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, look at that. You are meant for success. You're meant for stability. Like, everything that you've ever dreamed of, everything you've ever wished for is going to come true for you. Absolutely. And a big part of this was, those distractions, those things that weren't in alignment for you. They were a part of that, because seeing the work and the effort you put into making something work that doesn't make sense, and then putting that same energy and effort into something that does make sense, it's so beautiful. It kind of shows you that, like, if you have enough belief and commitment, you will stick something out. So imagine doing that with something that really lights you up, that really makes sense for you. But you're meant for it. You're going to be protected. You're going to be safe the whole way through. Okay, recognize, again, it's like you're either leading with faith or fear. It's up to you. Okay, I do see a lot of balance, a lot of trust coming in here. And see, there you are, setting those boundaries, protecting your energy, because your energy is so sacred. All of that energy, you can't just be giving it out. You have to protect yourself. You have to honor yourself and treat yourself like a temple, like an altar, like a god or a goddess, a divine being. That's what you are. But beautiful. Balance coming through. Trust coming through. Enlightenment. A lot of growth is happening here. And, it is through a lot of pain and a lot of heartbreak, but there will be healing for that. And after that, it's off to the races. I like it. Okay, we're going to close it out with an oracle message from the Moonology deck. If you guys enjoyed this reading, let me know with a like, a comment, definitely subscribe. All of that helps the channel grow. And if you would like to receive these readings, full moon, new moon readings, and get a ritual with them and just more content to support the full moon and new moon energy coming in, subscribe to my newsletter. That is linked down below at avianasascension.com. You can go to my website to sign up, but it's just a great way to get guidance and take these readings a step further. So check it out. Okay. Final bit of advice for this full moon in Pisces lunar eclipse. Thank you, Spirit. All right. See, we have meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. What do you need to release? Yeah. Definitely time to meditate and allow, like, if you're unsure about what it is you need to walk away from and things like that, allow yourself to meditate on it. Just quiet your mind, put your hand on your heart, allow the divine to speak to you, and don't try to force yourself to operate and think and come up with new ideas or solutions or clarity. Just let it come to you, let it flow to you. Okay. And we also have a new romantic cycle begins. Confidence is your key to success. So there's definitely going to be a shift in the romantic sphere for some of us. All right. So we have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries, very fun. And the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. I like that they both say approach. Very interesting. So definitely big things coming to conclusions. Okay. Tough cycles are ending. Fiery climax is approaching. So buckle up because this is a big one. Okay. We have your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. A win-win outcome is forecast, full moon in Libra. You are good enough, full moon in Virgo. Beautiful. So I like the win-win outcome is forecast because that lets me know, all of us know that even though it may be a difficult chapter ending, everyone's going to be okay. Everyone involved is going to be okay. It's going to be balanced. And we also kept seeing the Justice card. So that lets me know that no matter what anybody's doing, no matter what's happening, things are going to be balanced. Things are going to work out. And, if you're on the other end of that karma, that's not so, everybody can be accountable and we all know what role we've played and it's okay to learn lessons, like you don't have to be hard on yourself. We just are learning, But yes, hard work is paying off. You are good enough. So I definitely see you guys getting focused, getting locked in. And through that, I think a lot of your sense of self-worth is going to increase. And I really like that energy. So I just have a really good vibe for this full moon eclipse. I think it's going to be very, very intense. But I think all of it is going to be very necessary. And at the end, everyone's going to win. So I love it. Thank you for watching. If you guys would like a personal reading or a soul alchemy ceremony, that's where I work with your shadow and we help you release what no longer serves you, integrate the self-saboteur, and call in the beautiful abundance and love, prosperity, whatever it is that you want to call in. Okay. But thank you guys so much for watching. And if you would like more content from me, I have all of my social media down below. Thank you guys for spending your time and your energy with me. I hope you have a beautiful day. Happy full moon, lunar eclipse. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.